Hey guys, welcome back to World of Warships. Happy New Year. Today we're taking a look at the most HP you can get in World of Warships. Or almost. I wasn't able to find an arms race game. That would have pushed us over the edge, but Ushakov comes with the most HP of any ship in the entire game. And with detonations being removed, we got ourselves a new flag. 5% ship HP. So Ushakov goes from 135,000 HP up to 142,000. Over 140k HP. Absolutely wild. Yes, it is super ships, so they are more like tier 11 and a half, tier 12 if we're being honest. So not exactly fair to fight against some of these poor tier 9s. But this HP, man, we're like over double some tier 9 battleships. I mean, those are the really low HP ones, more battle cruiser types, but absolutely wild levels of HP here. It also gives us an absolutely ridiculous amount of healing. So our maximum possible heal here is 26,000. So considering we have 4 heals when we take the Superintendent upgrade here on Ushakov, we can get over 100k in healing yet. And if we take some extra skills, like the Special Commander, we'll get a heal when we're on low HP. Maybe we take the other skill to boost our healing, or rather give us an extra heal at 2 million HP. Yes, Ushakov just does not die. That was the main feature of this ship. You didn't get the best guns, however, at mid to closer ranges, although this poor guy is relatively far away for the dispersion that we got, the guns aren't bad either. When I was playing Colombo a little while ago, you know, I said maybe we should just play the really good ships and then we have more fun playing World of Warships. Perhaps playing super ships over and over and over again is another good way to play World of Warships. You get such a massive advantage here when you play these ships that are so much more powerful than their tier 10, tier 9 opponents. And yeah, we'll take a heal here. Absolutely massive. And then the Clown Fiesta continues, where we get the most random citadel on the main ever. That poor Jinan the other day in that incomparable video. Yes, it continues. This is not a competitive esports game. This is a silly arcade game about boats, which is very fun. But we can't take it too seriously. My New Year's resolution is exactly that. It's to take this game a little less seriously and just enjoy it. Play around, mess around with some of the dumb builds, or just look at the most extreme examples of ships in this game. Ushakov having 142,000 HP certainly fits that bill. And I've had fun with this ship in the past, but it has never been my favorite super ship. The guns didn't really feel like much of an upgrade over the Kremlin because they're not really, outside of this funny button, which don't worry, we're getting to. But this ship always felt like Kremlin, just bigger, more HP, which is admittedly quite good. This amount of HP is very strong for this tanking role. You just do not die. But these combat instructions are very potent as well. 10% range, but more importantly, 30% dispersion, more than Bungo spotter plane, more than even Satsuma, giving us immense accuracy. Although the base accuracy is a little bit worse, although it does form a close range, very good accuracy to long range, very poor accuracy curve. That seems to be the Russian gimmick on battleships or larger caliber guns. So at close range, yeah, you get like a cluster of shells to just nuke destroyers there. So we'll take out that Summers. No hydro means we got to be very careful of torpedoes, but we have so much HP that some of these torps that traditionally would do massive, devastating damage to battleships, they start to feel like they don't hit quite as hard anymore. Just because you have so much HP. You still got to be careful. You know, Shimikazes can still easily dev strike you, but it's nice to have that extra HP in those situations. 20,000 to Alaska. Maybe I should have used these combat instructions there. I get a little bit greedy, as you guys know, so I'm waiting for the perfect salvo. I'm waiting for possibly the Essex to be spotted. That extra range maybe giving us a shot there on a broadside Essex. I gotta go for the carrier when it's an option. Although he's angled. And look who's broadside, a Montana. A solid, if not terribly amazing tier 10 battleship. I still love Monty. But this poor Monty is fighting a Ushakov. That's disgusting dispersion. That is Slava levels of dispersion on such massive caliber guns. Large alpha damage here as well. That is crazy. Absolutely insane what these super ships, these super battleships are capable of. Certainly the battleships and the cruisers, in my opinion, are the very outlier ones. Maybe it's because I don't play the DDs enough, but some of the destroyers, the super destroyers that is, doesn't feel like as meaningful of a buff over the tier 10. Maybe it's just because the cruisers and these battleships are such a massive step up. Maybe that's what it is. It's not that they're a bad step up. It's just that these ones are so much higher. Easily over 2 million potential damage here. We got 2 heals remaining. No problem. It's very easy to tank a lot of damage in something like the Ushakov. But 190,000 damage is not an insane game. It's a good game, don't get me wrong. But look at the credits we'll earn still. Premium account, blue boosters. But that's still 600,000 credits. For newer players, these ships will burn through your credit reserves, not only to buy the ship, but to even play them. But for more experienced players who have a lot of credits in the bank, who have a lot of boosters saved up from different events, and of course the premium account, it doesn't burn that many credits. Maybe that's a hot take, actually. That's a bit of a privileged take, okay? I gotta recognize that. I do have a very privileged account. I'm a CC, so then I get premium time from Wargaming to help me make content on this game. But premium account and those extra boosters, you can earn some profit even on super ships. It's crazy, given how much they actually do burn when you're not on that premium account and not on those boosters. Very, very powerful tools to earn a lot of credits or to offset some of these more expensive ships. So if you're ever wondering, why does it seem like some people just get to play super ships over and over and over again, yet when I look to go play them, then you just lose so many credits? It's probably that. People who've played the game a long time that have a lot of high-level commanders, a lot of boosters, and a premium account. That's an experience that takes a lot of time and certainly money put into the game. The point of these ships is that they are extremely powerful, and I think Wargaming wanted to pull out some credits out of the economy. But given how advanced players, people who've played a long time, have so many resources, and they're not really having to grind new lines all that often, it doesn't quite seem to do enough for those veteran players to really drain their credit reserves. Yet, I gotta recognize, for newer players, again, it is a massive credit sink. You just can't afford to play these as a newer player. So it's a weird in-between dynamic where it's still incredibly punishing for new players, but not really doing the full job of a credit sink for experienced players. Maybe that's just my take. Let me know what you think again in the comments down below. I'd love to hear it. But for a lot of experienced players, they can just play these ships without too many issues. I burned my combat instructions there when I shouldn't have, playing too greedily with them most of the time, and then I burn it on a Des Moines that is hiding behind an island and smartly gets behind that island in time. So not getting a great salvo there. But like I said, with Ushakov, these Russian battleships get very good closer range dispersion, which is around that 10 to 15 kilometer range is when it really kind of spikes outward as getting much worse dispersion. At closer range, these things are incredibly accurate. And with this Drake, we're going to hope for him to push out around this island. Hopefully, we can get ourselves a good salvo. Don't have the funny button. Would love to have it here. Really wish I could have it. But still, at 12.5 kilometers, we should have good accuracy. And indeed, we do. Look at that. Even without these combat instructions, managing to get a very, very nice salvo there. You want to play these things at close range. And speaking of close range and incentivizing people to play at close range, not only the dispersion and the tankiness here, but these combat instructions will be changed soon. I know I probably should have waited on Ushakov and some of these other ones. We have so much to look for in the new update here, being very patient on Unicum, just as a quick aside. Waiting for him to turn broadside to try and guarantee some shots. Otherwise, if he angles to us, Yoshino gets the broadsides anyway. So we want to hold this guy hostage almost, where he's got no good options. Either way he decides, he has a bad option, which is a great way to get someone taken out. And this enemy team pushing our spawn, a good example of what happens when you push spawns. It's very, very hard to do. Very, very difficult to push enemy spawns. But back to the changes or the buffs and nerfs coming in the new update. Very excited to take a look at them. There's so many. There's too many to list. We'll go over them. Don't you worry once the new update comes. There's so many fun ones to take a look at. But a big one, a key one here, is that a lot of these super battleships are getting some changes to their F key, the combat instructions. Instead of the progression to charge these combat instructions being hit close or get close to an enemy ship, you actually have to get hits now. So when I miss like that, when I aim badly and just miss a target, if my combat instructions weren't charged, I just would not get any progress. So I think that's a good change. I think you should be rewarded for hits, not just, oh, hitting the water within the vicinity of an enemy ship. That never really made too much sense to me. Venezia probably did not expect to be spotted there. I think our Minotaur spotted him when he shot in smoke. So I think that's why he got caught in such an unfortunate position. For us, though, we will capitalize. Dev Strike, yes. Yes, these combat instructions, man. So nice. It really is. And we're about to use our last heal. But notice we're not over 2 million potential damage yet. I love showing off this interaction. It's very, very rare that I get to. But if you've used all your heals and you have the skill that gives you another heal after 2 million potential damage, it instantly comes back. You do not have to wait for it to recharge. It instantly shows up and you can use it again. Very, very interesting interaction. Very rare that you can even take advantage of it. Here with Ushakov, I have so much HP and most of it isn't healable. Actually, the HP remaining. So we can't actually use it right away. But very, very interesting that we can just have the heal back right away. I love that interaction, even if I don't get to use it very often. Here we're seeing 457 still being extremely powerful. Obviously, a very good caliber to have at tier 10 against cruisers. The overmatch. You don't need the giant Satsuma gun caliber or even Hanover caliber to have effective overmatch at these tiers. These cruisers at tier 10 really, really suffer to 457 overmatch here. So Henry will get taken out, and there is our heal for us. But very cool to see these combat instructions, and crucially, we're getting some combat instructions from the Libertad line on the Ushakov. I think this is very cool. Rewarding you for tanking. So every 2 million potential damage, you get 0.1% progress on instructions. So to me, that seems like not really something you're using to charge your instructions, but it's to delay the decay of these combat instructions. And I think that's really cool. When you hit an enemy ship, and this will be in the future, we'll take a look at Ushakov again, don't worry, but I would be incorrect for me to not mention it here, I think. 6% progress when you hit an enemy ship with a main battery shell. Currently, it's, I think, 3.5% when you get a shell in the vicinity of an enemy ship. So it's a little harder to get that progress because you actually have to hit rather than get the progress for just landing in the area, as well as hits also count. But you do get more progress when you do get a shell that activates for that hitting an enemy ship. So very interesting to see. Satsuma also getting that change, 8% on that one, but you have a few less shells and you don't get the potential damage thing. But I really like that change because you should be hitting targets to get rewarded, right? Shouldn't we reward hitting rather than like missing someone? I don't know. I like that change personally. Something I'm not doing well here, even though we get like 15k into a superstructure bow on, should probably swap to the HE. I am a very greedy player, very greedy. So in playing this, I'm just hoping, and this is probably just copium, or hopium, I suppose we could say. The Louisiana pushes out broadside. Okay, he's not going to do that, obviously, but there's a chance he does in my brain. So I'm thinking, if he does, I don't want to be on the HE. This build does not include gun feeder, expert loader, whatever it's called these days. So I don't want to be on the HE, have to reload with the AP when someone goes broadside and miss that opportunity. It's not going to happen, though. It's too greedy. But that, if you're wondering why I don't shoot HE, and the optimal play would be to shoot HE, that is why. I am just hoping that someone walks out broadside to me, even though it probably won't happen. I'm not playing optimally. I'm playing for fun. I'm playing for those black ribbons, those dev strikes. Even if it does mean we probably could have done much better against this Ushakov. We didn't do badly. The AP superstructure thing still does very well. But, and you can see even here, not using my F key, even though I had it charged for an incredibly long time. The same reason. Maybe someone walks out broadside. I'm a little bit too greedy. But we still get a great game here. 3 kills. 264,000 damage. Incredible stuff. I mean, it is super ships though, so you would expect the numbers to be a little bit inflated. More HP, more damage. These super ships are absolutely wild. And in a game like this one, we do get a very, very nice base XP as well. Over 3k base XP. So with premium account and with blue boosters, we again turn a profit. These are very good games, certainly. Again, in these post-commentary videos, often I am showing you the best games. Although segueing into a game where saying best games into our final match where we don't do particularly well, we'll see. But it is interesting that you can make so many credits still, even though the design of these ships is that you should lose credits. Although maybe it's not to lose credits, but to drain resources. Maybe that's the idea for Wargaming. And in that case, they're draining my blue booster reserve. Maybe that's the way of looking at it, I suppose. But anyways, enough of the economic discussion. These ships are absolutely incredible. John here took a lot of damage to that Satsuma in spawn. So these ships are not perfectly immune to damage. They can still eat some damage, although they are incredibly tanky. We capped the B cap within the first 5 minutes of a carrier super ship game. There's subs here. We went in triple Ushakov div, messing around. I think this was during John's 24-hour Christmas stream where he had a goal to run a triple Ushakov div. So it's actually Sep and I that jumped in for a game or two. Very, very fun. Definitely go check out John and Sep, both stream. Great content creators for this game as well. And I had a lot of fun with this, although John's looking almost dead, and we gotta go try and save him. Although I haven't really done a great job of taking really any damage for him, unfortunately. Been one step behind. So let's full send it in. Crossfire here. We're pushing enemy spawn within the first, 6 or 7 minutes. Absolutely not the play you should be making, but it's the one we will do with a triple Ushakov div. May as well, right? We do again have 457s overmatch. Defense has a giant box of a citadel, and we can get through it if we overmatch his bow or stern when he's angled like this to us. There's a main here. There's a Ushakov here. There's Kearsarge, Satsuma on our broadside. This is very, very dangerous, but we'll try and make it work. Look at those secondary hits. How are we getting so many? Don't worry, I ran a more normal build, still very greedy for heavy AP, but in the earlier games where we did much better, I was running a more standard tanky build. In this one though, yes, if we're gonna full send, we may as well go secondary build. Double strike, there it is. Getting ourselves the ghetto as well as defense there. That overmatch really helping us out here. And pushing a Ushakov in a main, very scary stuff. We're going to try and stay somewhat angled, but we do want to get our secondaries going. And hopefully we can find some broadsides. And I won't go for the ram. This is all about being greedy as well. Main should be... I don't think that's angled quite enough for us, especially given the citadel we had earlier in this video. But unfortunately, we don't quite get there. I think he must have angled just in time, I suppose. And here we go. 2 million potential damage already just from being so close to the enemy team. Ushakov is going to give us broadside. We don't go for the ram because I love these brawls. I don't want to cut it short. Even if I'm going to die, potentially, I'd much rather go for the big play, get the broadside, get the dev strike. That's what I really have fun with. So I think we should be good to go here. And no citadel. Very disappointing, I'm not gonna lie, but it goes to show, man, Ushakov armor That angled citadel armor is absolutely crazy. We'll take a look at that in port here in just a second, but much like Libertad, as we've all been experiencing here over the last updates, yes, angled citadel armor is insane. Even at close range, it's very difficult to get citadels through. These Russian battleships were a bit of the archetype of that, and the Pan-American ones certainly capitalized on that. So only 100,000 damage. Still, 100,000 damage is not bad. But we pushed back the enemy so far that, yeah, we're definitely going to win this game, even if it's not the most insane result. But full sending triple div into the B cap. Just had to show that one to you guys as well. So, Happy New Year's, guys. First video of 2025 done. Well, while I'm recording this, it's still 2024. I'm living in the past, but let me know how 2025 is. I hope you guys are going to have a wonderful year here in 2020. Wow, man, 2025 is crazy. It's been 5 years since 2020. That's wild. It's the same amount of time to get to 2050 as it is to 2000. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Happy New Year's, guys. It's going to be good, surely, right? Ushakov, we had a blast playing this thing. My resolution, I mean, I don't usually do, like, try to stick to resolutions and, like, binding or whatever. But what I would like to do this year, at least when it comes to World of Warships, is play for fun, not play for perfectly optimal. I think that's what it comes down to. Not try and over-optimize the fun out of the game. I can get into that mindset very, very easily. So we're going to try that, or I'm going to try and be like that a little more this year. We'll see how it goes, but that is what I would like to do. And Ushakov with the full HP build certainly fits that bill. I wish I had an arms race game for you though, man. It would have been over 160k HP, and if you get that's with the full HP buff, and if you get the full healing buff alongside that, every second you gain 98 HP. Absolutely wild. I'll see if I can manage to find myself in that matchmaker when we play this ship again in the new update and take a look at the changed combat instructions and that. That should be fun. Look forward to that. I'm very excited for this New Year's update, January update, because there's so many ships getting such fun and interesting changes. Again, too many to name. Let's take a look at the armor just to show you guys. Yeah, it's quite thick. 450, 425. I was trying to aim for the middle. I knew that it had a little bit less in the middle, but it is quite angled still. And so you have to be a little bit careful of that. Although it's actually not as angled as Libertad. Libertad's even more angled, surprisingly. So, not sure. Maybe I just didn't wait long enough. Maybe the spaced armor nature of it, like this cavity, saved him. I don't know. I should have been more patient though, I suppose, and waited for the flat broadside. I assumed at that range I would get through, but we did not. Good to know. 60 mil icebreaker, 180 here even. There's 32 on the upper bow here. So if you're in a 32 mil overmatching battleship, right, like Satsuma, Yamato's, of course, Hanover as well, we'll get through this. Just aim for the upper bow. It's very large, and you'll get very, very good damage. That's at closer ranges, at least. Although 60 mil deck armor plating, 150 here. Just enough to shatter Libertad secondaries. Interesting. I didn't think 60 was that big of a deal. It was a few cruisers that could get through that, I suppose. But now that we're seeing a lot more of those Libertads, that's nice. Up from 50, I think, on Kremlin. Although I haven't checked that, so maybe that one's 60 as well. 60 is a nice threshold though as well. And look at this, even like a reverse, like a rear ice, I don't even know if you can call that icebreaker, maybe if you're reversing, but very, very well armored ship. Tons of HP, tons of armor, relatively small superstructure for a ship this large, gives you the absolute tanking power of this thing. 457s though, it's Kremlin guns at super ship tier. That is the knock against this ship, I suppose. It's that you don't gain that massive upgrade, you know, like main getting 4 more guns to give you just insane salvo weight. Satsuma gaining the insane accuracy of the of that ship, as well as just higher caliber yet, more alpha damage. This is just they're Kremlin guns, but you gain in other ways, I suppose. Here's the build I was running. Very, very greedy, super heavy AP. And we're not taking basic survivability. So that's why the fires lasted like a minute, by the way. Greed builds, guys. Gotta go for them. Improved repair party readiness and emergency repair expert gets us up to what, 5 heals? Is it? I think that's what... Oh, this port. I forgot. But yeah, you get 4 heals here with that build, and then once you get to 2 million potential damage, you get the 5th. I should be running, I know I should be running Kuznetsov, but swapping these guys back and forth all the time, even for someone like me, does burn through elite commander XP. At the start of December, I had over 22 million, and here in start of January, end of December, I'm at 16. So we're burning through it a bit. So I'm kind of, I got to be a little bit careful. I know I still have a lot, obviously. Again, very, very privileged player account here. Not only played the game a very long time, but also get CC benefits as well. So not exactly the most realistic, but hey, it does help me make content on this game. Here with the upgrades, notice I'm not taking main armaments. I did lose my gun every once in a while, but the reason to take auxiliary armaments is to keep your not your secondaries, but your AA alive. Helps your secondaries as well. The AA is surprisingly good here. It does a ton of damage. Look at how many explosions you get. 12. Like wild stats. But the instant an HE shell even brushes your ship, they are all destroyed. The nerf to Kremlin back in the day was not really to nerf its tankiness, when that was what was so busted about it. They nerfed the shells too, but originally Kremlin had very strong AA, and the AA mounts survived a long time, but they nerfed the AA HP, the turret HP down, so it just gets ripped off your ship instantly. And unfortunately, Ushakov inherits that weakness. So yeah, you're stupid, absurdly tanky against surface ships, but against carriers, as soon as some HE hits you, you're just toast. It's a weird way to balance it, in my opinion. I don't like that very much, but hey, that is also why I'm running preventative maintenance too, trying to again keep those alive as best I can. Not running full conceal is probably not the right way to go, by the way. 16 kilometer detect means we're not surprising people as often, so maybe not the most optimal way, but I wanted the ability to get to 5 heals, because I knew 2 million potential damage is easy to get in this thing, and I wanted the super heavy AP, so it meant sacrificing one of the 4 pointers, and it's a bit of a greedy build. We're not playing exactly optimally, but we're playing for fun, and I certainly had fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. Happy New Year's, and have a great rest of your day.